Show presented by Verde Kitchen and Cocktails located at 70 East Main Street in Bayshore. It is your one-stop shop for the most authentic Mexican cuisine on Long Island. To book a reservation or to order catering, call 631-665-6300. Good morning, everyone. I'm Peter Schwartz, and good morning to Vinny Tickets.
Good morning, Peter.
It was an interesting night at Yankee Stadium last night, Vinny, because the Yankees not only won again, finished off another sweep, but there's also now this cloud over the team with the
rain out or the rain delay?
No, the injury to Juan Soto last night with his forearm tightness, leaving the game after the rain delay. So there is some concern in Yankee land, and hearing the reporters talk to him afterward, he doesn't think it's a big deal. He's going to get some imaging today, but certainly not the cloud that the Yankees were looking for in the midst of all this winning.
No, absolutely. But I do say this: it just seems that in this generation, I would love to know why these guys are getting injured so much, so often. Maybe it's the weightlifting. I'm not really sure, but you do hear a lot more injuries than when I was growing up.
Absolutely. And coming up on Sports Bash, it is Free Ticket Friday. We'll give away 2 tickets for Mets and Marlins June 11th. Our guest will be Wayne Randazzo, the play-by-play voice for Major League Baseball on Apple TV+. He'll call tonight's Yankees-Dodgers game, a big-ticket item in the Bronx this weekend on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It was a night of mixed emotions for the Yankees, so it's time for the Sports Bash Flash, brought to you by the Embassy Diner in Bethpage, where every customer is considered family. The Embassy Diner is located at 4280 Hempstead Turnpike in Bethpage. Mention Sports Bash and get a free dessert with your meal. At Yankee Stadium, Yankees win their 8th in a row, beat the Twins 8-5. They complete a 3-game sweep. After the 5th inning, a 56-minute rain delay when play resumed in the 6th. Juan Soto was not in the game, leaving with a left forearm injury, left forearm discomfort. Manager Aaron Boone explains.
Yeah, it's just been something that's been bothering him for about the last week or so. Been getting treatment on it. Hasn't really affected him in his baseball stuff, throwing or swinging or anything. But just, once we shut down in the rain delay, that soreness was there, so just kind of didn't feel like it was the right thing to go back out there.
And Boone was asked if he's concerned about the injury.
I don't know. I mean, that's kind of getting way ahead of ourselves. Obviously, you take a player out of the game, and you take a player of the caliber of Juan out of the game, there's always concern about that. But, also hoping that we're just, being cautious here, on a long night with a delay.
Now, Soto also spoke to the media after the game last night. He was asked how long this has been bothering him.
I don't have the right specific date, but it's been like a week and a half or 2. It's just I've just been grinding through it. And
then Soto was asked when it hurts him.
It's not any specific activities. It's kind of funny that it doesn't hurt me whenever I throw or hitting. It's more like soreness that I feel with any kind of move that I make with my arm, but definitely don't stop me for anything baseball-wise.
See, that's the weird thing, Vinny. It doesn't hurt him during any baseball activity. It just kind of hurts him walking around and moving his arm a little bit, which is very, very strange. We have not seen him be affected by this at all.
No, not at all. You don't see any. A lot of times guy has an injury. You'll see him out on the field. They'll wince. They'll, make some kind of motion. You see him step out of the batter's box, let's say, and when they come out of the batter's box, they'll, give a little wince, rub their arm, or do something. And there are zero telltale signs when you watch this gentleman play baseball.
I was at the game Wednesday night, and he made that catch in right field, the foul ball catch where he went into the stands, and you start to think, well, maybe that might have affected him, but no, it really didn't. So it's very strange. He's going to get some imaging today, and then the Yankees open up a series with the Dodgers tonight at Yankee Stadium, so hopefully later today we'll know a little bit more. Maybe he'll DH this weekend to kind of give the arm a rest from being out in the field. We'll see what happens. Game 1 NBA Finals last night, the Celtics over the Mavericks 107-89. Jaylen Brown, 22 points for Boston. Game 2 is on Sunday. WNBA, the Liberty over Atlanta 78-61. Breanna Stewart with 25 points. And a huge upset yesterday in the Cricket World Cup, the United States beating Pakistan. I believe that match was in Dallas, and the United States is going to play one of their games coming up here on Long Island at that temporary stadium in Eisenhower Park, which, by the way, has been just a crazy spectacle from what I understand. People really enjoying the cricket. I'm going to try to get out there for a game, one of the remaining games at Eisenhower Park. But
Do you understand the game?
I have zero clue. Bradley has been, my son Bradley has been studying it. He wants to go to a game. I have no idea. I'm a big event kind of person. So I like to go to these big events. So I'm going to try to go. 10:30 in the morning is a little too early. We got the show and so we have to figure out a way to get to one of the games. But it was a great upset yesterday. So go United States, the rest of the Cricket World Cup. We're going to join our radio audience in just a moment. We're going to be talking to Wayne Randazzo from Apple TV Plus. He's calling the Yankees-Dodgers game. We've got a Mets ticket giveaway. It's all coming up. Sports Bash presented by TicketBash.com. We're coming back in just a couple of moments.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors.
Welcome to Sports Bash, presented by TicketBash.com. Sports Bash is brought to you by the Embassy Diner in Bethpage, by Falcone Law Firm. If you need to speak to an attorney, call them at 631-6074-LAW. That's 631-607-4529. By the Marty Lyons Foundation, the official charity of Sports Bash Media. Visit their website at martylyonsfoundation.org. And by Collaborate Studios, a content marketing production facility. For more information, call them at 516-509-8277. Good morning, everyone. I'm Peter Schwartz, joined as always by Vinny Tickets. Good morning, Vinny.
Good morning, Peter.
In just a little bit, we'll be joined by Whiz Kid Vinny with This Day in Sports History. We'll also have a Mets ticket giveaway for the Mets and the Marlins on June 11th at Citi Field. We'll have a Mets trivia question for you, so you want to get your Mets thinking caps out in just a little bit. But first of all, we want to welcome in someone who called Mets games for a number of years on the radio, also did some TV play-by-play work for the New York Mets. Now he is the TV voice of the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, and he's also the play-by-play voice for Major League Baseball's package on Apple TV Plus. In fact, he's back here in New York, and he's going to call the Yankees and the Dodgers game on Apple TV Plus tonight as the Yankees and Dodgers open up a 3-game series at Yankee Stadium. He is Wayne Randazzo, and he joins us here on Sports Bash. Wayne, it's Peter and Vinny. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing fantastic. Thanks for joining us. So a lot of excitement around this Yankees-Dodgers series this weekend. 3 full houses expected, but now there's a little bit of a cloud over the series, with the Juan Soto injury, but you've got to be really pumped up to be at Yankee Stadium tonight for this.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge series, or you could say maybe it's the biggest series in all of baseball during the regular season this year, with the Dodgers loaded up and all their star power coming to Yankee Stadium and facing a Yankees team that has been resurgent thanks a lot to Soto. So it certainly will have a different feel to it if Soto is not available, but it should still be a fun series nonetheless. Anytime Shohei shows up at Yankee Stadium, it's a big deal, and now he's got Mookie Betts with him, and we'll see Yoshinobu Yamamoto pitching tonight.
When you talk about Shohei Ohtani, obviously you mentioned, he's been to Yankee Stadium a number of times before as a member of the Angels, but this is another, animal here tonight. Now he's with the Dodgers, and of course the Yankees and Dodgers have that storied history, meeting in the World Series so many times, and the Yankees might have had some interest in him as a free agent, but he decides to stay out west and go to the Dodgers. What do you expect the reaction to be to him tonight as he comes back to Yankee Stadium for the first time as a Dodger?
Yeah, I would think there'd be a huge buzz for it. I think anytime Shohei shows up anywhere, there's a lot of energy and atmosphere to welcome him. And Yankee Stadium is a place where there's always an extra charge to play in and be a part of what is a really historic place to be. So with the rivalry that exists between the two teams over their World Series appearances together, and both teams kind of pointed at possibly facing each other again this year in the World Series. I mean, I would say that you could certainly make the argument that these are the two best teams in their respective leagues. and they could be on a collision course for October. So I think that it certainly will be fun to watch Shohei at Yankee Stadium tonight as a Dodger for the first time, and bringing in a really good ball club with him.
We're talking to Wayne Randazzo. He is the play-by-play voice for Apple TV Plus's coverage of Major League Baseball. He's got the call tonight of the Yankees and Dodgers at Yankee Stadium.
Hey, Wayne, thanks for joining us today. So I have to ask you, you come back to New York. First of all, what is it that you missed most about New York? If anything, even, what is it that you miss most about New York?
Well, I think just the city itself is, you feel like you're in the center of the universe when you're here, and everything feels bigger and more important when you're in New York, and people are more just passionate about everything, and I think that's what you miss about being in New York, just the energy that's here. And I was here a long time. I was here 8 years, doing the Mets games, and it's always going to be a special place to me.
Yes. So then when we talk about your pregame, what's your first food stop when you get here to New York?
Well, I'm going to actually get a bagel today. I think that's one thing you can't get in any other city. That it's unmatched here. So I'm gonna probably grab a bagel from Essa Bagel here this morning, and
You better get a slice of pizza too, Wayne.
Yes, that was my next one.
Sure, I will. Yeah, but I definitely love the bagels here, so I'm gonna grab one here this morning.
By the way, we our studios, Wayne, are in MacArthur Airport here on Long Island, and as we're talking, I'm watching two Dodger fans walk right by us. They may have just landed in New York for the weekend, so it's and they're cheering. They're in for the series this weekend. Let me talk about the Yankees for a second. We'll get back to the Dodgers. Juan Soto aside, obviously you mentioned before that he's been a key to the Yankees' resurgence, but this is a lineup and a staff that has played so well. For the most part this season. What else is it about the Yankee lineup and their pitching staff that has impressed you as you prepare for this game tonight?
Well, the starting pitchers have been extremely good, and you figured with Garrett Cole out that they would struggle. I don't think anyone realized how deep their rotation was, and they've all been strong. I mean, even Cody Petit, who's pitching tonight in his couple starts, has been nice. He's done a nice job for the Yankees, but Luis Gil has just been unbelievably good. You can make the argument that he's been the best pitcher in the American League so far in the first 2 months of the season. I don't think anyone expected that kind of start to the year for Luis Gil. But the other guys have been good too. Stroman has been a good fit with the Yankees after bouncing around and having, not exactly been a great fit for the Mets. He has come to the Yankees and he's done a really nice job for them. So once Garrett Cole's back, and that sounds like it'll be soon, you feel like the Yankees' rotation is going to be even stronger, and they can carry them if Soto's going to miss some time. But it's going to be a huge blow to that offense. Soto has changed that offense. The dynamic is more balanced, not only with Soto, but Alex Verdugo as well. More left-right balance in that lineup. And it's a lot of protection for Judge to have Soto in there. I mean, having the two of them back-to-back just puts an enormous strain on pitchers on the other side. So I would think if it's a significant injury for Soto, that's going to change the dynamic for this Yankee team.
Wayne, when you look at the Dodgers, obviously they're filled with talent. We've talked about Shohei Ohtani before, but this is a team that, up and down that lineup, up and down that pitching staff, filled with talent. The Dodgers have never been shy, especially in recent years, about spending money, and they have spent a lot of money. Money doesn't necessarily guarantee you wins and championships, but for whatever reason, the Dodgers have won a lot of games. Of course, they've got the the COVID season World Championship, but the Dodgers have not been shy about spending a lot of money, and for them, it's worked because that's a pretty good team that the Dodgers are bringing into New York this weekend.
It is a good team. I do think that they still have some things they would like to tighten up. It's not a terribly deep lineup. Muncie's on the IL right now, but it really falls off after you get to kind of that 4 or 5 spot in the order. once you get past Will Smith or Teoscar Hernandez, the 6 through 9 in that lineup has been having a really tough time, especially with Muncy out. Their pitching, I think, has held up so far. Between Yamamoto and Tyler Glasnow has done a really nice job for them, but Glasnow's never really pitched a full season before. Walker Buehler has been slow to come back. He didn't pitch well last night against the Pirates. So there's still some issues there. Yeah, as much money as they spent over $1 billion this past off season just on two guys alone with Shohei and Yamamoto. But I still think there's some ways that can tighten up their roster, and we'll see. It's a good Dodger team. I don't know if it's the great team that people expected, but they're going to run away with the National League West. It's a really uncompetitive division outside of the Dodgers. And I think at the end of the season, when you get to October, it almost feels like the Dodgers pay for that every year, that the division has not been competitive. And when they get to the playoffs, they face a pressure that they don't face during the regular season. They coast through, and then when the playoffs come, is an entirely different situation. And it seems like the pressure has gotten to them over the last couple of years. So we'll see how it goes this year. But there's enough talent there to go to the World Series. It's just a matter of if they can get over that hump in October.
Awesome stuff, Wayne. Wayne Randazzo from Apple TV Plus. He has the call of the Yankees-Dodgers series opener tonight in the Bronx. Wayne, thank you so much for getting up early and spending some time with us on the show, and have a great call tonight, and we'll see you next time you're back in New York.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
job.
Wayne.
Thank you, Wayne.
Wayne Randazzo, former Mets broadcaster, now the play-by-play voice for Apple TV Plus. They've got the Yankees-Dodgers game tonight, the series opener in the Bronx. Still more to do. We've got this day in baseball history coming up with this day in sports history. Got baseball on my mind. WizKid Vinny's coming up this day in sports history, and we've got a Mets ticket giveaway all coming up when Sports Bash rolls on right after this. Hi, I'm Peter Schwartz.
And I'm Vinny Tickets.
We want to take a moment to talk about our fantastic sponsor, the Embassy Diner.
Embassy Diner has been a beloved staple in the restaurant industry for over 50 years. And the great thing about it is when you walk through the door, you're not a customer, you are family. Every visit promises to be filled with warmth, love, and respect.
And here's an extra treat. If you mention Sports Bash during your visit, you enjoy a free dessert on the Embassy Diner.
Come on down to the Embassy Diner, where great food and great company are always on the menu.
Visit the Embassy Diner, located at 4280 Hempstead Turnpike in Bethlehem. Peter Schwartz, Vinny Tickets, back with you during our commercial break. In a minute, we'll be welcoming back our radio audience. We'll have This Day in Sports History with WizKid Vinny and a Mets ticket giveaway. And we thank Wayne Randazzo from Apple TV Plus for joining us. Yes, great. He'll have the call tonight on Apple TV Plus. They also Major League Baseball did something interesting because of the magnitude of this series. They actually allow the Dodgers and the Yankees to retain their local broadcast tonight. Normally, it would be Apple TV having the exclusive rights to the game tonight. But because of the magnitude, and not everybody has access to Apple TV Plus, that game is going to be on here in New York. That game will be on Yes Network tonight.
Yes, it will. And I meant to bring up a point with this series coming up this weekend.
We have 10 seconds.
Let's get back to the show.
10 seconds. Vinny, hold that thought. We're going to welcome back our radio audience in just a moment. Welcome back to Sports Bash, presented by TicketBash.com, 631-451-1039. The number to call to join the show. It's Peter Schwartz and Vinny Tickets. Once again, thanks to Wayne Randazzo from Apple TV Plus, who will call the play-by-play for tonight's Yankees-Dodgers series opener in the Bronx. We're going to get to WizKid Vinny with This Day in Sports History in just a moment. Vinny, you had a thought you wanted to bring up for those who were not listening on the radio during the commercial break. We just ran out of time, but you wanted to bring up a thought.
Yeah, that's all good. So have you ran across a lot of Dodger fans, right?
Yeah, the couple here in the airport today.
Yes, did you see see that?
Yeah.
But the old Dodger fans that have actually either converted, they were Dodger fans here from New York. They've either become Dodger fans for LA or they become Met fans.
Absolutely. I know
Because
my father-in-law was a diehard Brooklyn Dodgers fan. They left, and he became a Mets fan. That's why my wife Cheryl is a Mets fan.
so my father-in-law has a friend, and he, every single time I see him, you know what he tells me?
What?
I grew up a Brooklyn Dodgers fan, and the Yankees ruined my childhood. Can you imagine that? I said, listen, you really have to get into therapy.
Yes.
That's just too much.
Absolutely. Before we get to this day in sports history, it is time for Free Ticket Friday. We're giving away a pair of tickets to see the Mets take on the Marlins on June 11th at Citi Field, and we have a Mets trivia question. So we will take the fifth correct caller for David Wright, number 5. Fifth correct caller, 631-451-1039. And here is the Mets trivia question. The Mets are in London this weekend for a 2-game series against the Phillies. Mets opened up their 2000 season playing a pair of games against the Cubs. The Mets won game 1 5-3. That was on March 29th, 2000. The next day, the Mets and Cubs were tied at 1 in the 11th inning. A Mets pinch hitter hit a go-ahead grand slam, and the Mets won that game 5-1 and a sweep of the 2-game series. Who was that Mets pinch hitter that hit the grand slam to win that game in Japan?
Wiz doesn't qualify.
Wiz, you can't win anything. But before you saw the script, did you know what the answer to the question? Don't say what the answer is, but did you know what the answer to the question was?
Perhaps.
Perhaps. Okay.
I'm going to take that
And
as
gave
a
us
yes.
gave us a little wink. So had that been a question for Stump the Wiz, nobody would have stumped the Wiz. Are you correct?
Correct.
Okay, there we go. So that's the question. Who was the Mets pinch hitter that hit that grand slam to win that game against the Cubs in 2000 in Japan? While we wait for a winner, here's WizKid Vinny with This Day in Sports History.
They're calling, by the way.
Yes.
Somebody knows the answer. Besides you, Wiz, of course.
Well, talking about baseball, I want to talk about hockey as the Stanley Cup is tomorrow. And why not give a special day for Wayne Gretzky as this day in 1989?
I've heard of him.
Yes.
I'd say he was okay.
Double 9.
Speaking of 9, this was he won his 9th and final Hart Trophy, which is the NHL's MVP award in 10 years. The only year that he did not win it was the year prior in 1988. So it snapped that 9-year streak. It snapped that 8-year streak. It could have been 9 in a row, but the reason why it was 8 in a row was because of Mario Lemieux. So he got his 9th in 10 years. This time in his first ever year with the Los Angeles Kings. And when you think of Gretzky going to the Kings, that really changed the way that people look at hockey in the West Coast as a whole. I mean, the Kings also changed their uniform colors from the Lakers purple and yellow or gold, whatever you want to call it, to the black and silver.
And they're changing their uniforms again. I saw a report yesterday. They're going to go back to a modernized version of the Gretzky era LA Kings jerseys.
Yeah, the Anaheim Ducks are doing something kind of similar to the old Wild Wayne logo, except with instead of the purple and teal, it's going to be the I think like the orange and the black and the gold. But as for the Kings that year, they made it to the playoffs. They were second in the Smythe division, and they were up against the Edmonton Oilers. They beat them in 7 games. That's Gretzky's old team. But unfortunately, in the second round, they would fall via a sweep against the Calgary Flames, who go on to win the Stanley Cup final against the Montreal Canadiens. But yeah, we just think of just Wayne Gretzky as a whole. That year, he led the league in assists again, and he also was 4th in goals, 2nd in points, 6th in shots.
And he lit that red light a lot, and just like the red light is ringing in the other studio a lot for these Mets tickets for June 11th, Sebastiano.
And those are great seats they're getting, too.
They're getting great seats,
Yeah,
huh?
field level seats, like 25 rows back, just past the bag. Great seats.
And he's working very, very hard back there to try and get a winner. Do we have a winner yet, Sebastiano? We do have a winner. Okay, so we're going to get the name of that winner, and maybe can we put the winner on the air, and maybe we can. He does not want to go on the air. Okay, very good. Well, we'll get the name of the winner, and we'll announce that in short time. But thank you again for a great this day in sports history.
Great job.
Absolutely. And look, the Mets coming off a sweep of the Nationals. Now they go out.
You know what? I'm shocked that you're saying those words right now. The Mets come off a sweep.
On the
Wow.
road in Washington.
Wow.
Listen, it's a fun time for Met fans. If you want to call the show, it's 631-451-1039. And now they're off to London for a 2-game series against the Phillies. This is, I believe it's the same stadium that the Yankees and Red Sox played in a few years ago. And if you remember that series, nothing but home runs. Like there was 2 games filled with it was like arena baseball.
Yeah,
like it was crazy.
Yeah, it must be the tea and crumpets.
The tea. Well, I did see. By the way, I did see on social media that Mr. and Mrs. Met made the trip over to London. Yes, they were all over social media. So that's got to be fun. I know. People I know that I work with, some friends of mine made the trip. Met fans made the trip over to London. Again, you know, I don't want to sound like a broken record. And Vinny Wiz helped me produce for Pete's Take today, and I was talking about something else that was relative to games taking place outside the United States. People know how I feel about it because I'm not a big fan of it. But there's a lot of people that are really excited about this that made a vacation out of. I have a buddy of mine I work with at the Fan. And he made a week vacation out of just, why go if you can get a chance to see something you love and make a vacation out of it, how great would that be?
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be great, which is a great time to bring up that Ticketbash.com is doing a trip for Taylor Swift to Europe. And all I want you to do is if you have an interest in going to see Taylor Swift in Europe, you could go to Milan, Italy. You could also go to Wembley Stadium in London. So either one of those trips are available. It's less money than going to see Taylor Swift here in the States, and you'll get airfare.
That's remarkable that you can actually
do that. It's unbelievable, right? But listen to what you get.
I thought it was crazy in 2014 when the Rangers went to the Stanley Cup final against the Kings. I have a friend of mine, it cost him less money to go out to California to see a game in the finals than go in to see them at the Garden.
Very common. So if you have an interest in Taylor Swift, text or call Ticket Bash at 631-250-6888. That's 631-250-6888. That's ticketbash.com. We could put together a custom package, and concierge representatives to handle everything from A to Z are standing by now.
Really quick before I forget, a couple of days ago we had Stump the Wiz. Pete Petruccioni of Huntington won the Eli Manning autographed football. He received it. He took a picture that our viewers are looking at right now, holding the Eli Manning football decked out in Giants gear. So congratulations to Pete winning that Eli Manning football, and thank you to the New York Football Giants for sending that football along.
Did the Giants use Amazon to get same-day
I don't
delivery?
know, but he got it already.
That is amazing.
Also, Ticketbash.com has a special code for Sports Bash viewers and listeners, SBR15, to save 15% off your bill, and that's already with no service fees attached to Ticketbash.com.
No service fees ever on our site, and for a limited time from today until midnight on Sunday, when you go to Ticketbash.com, on checkout, enter the code SBR15.
That stands for Sports Bash Radio.
Yes, SBR15. Get 15% off your order.
Congratulations to Michael from West Babylon. He won the Mets tickets. He's going to see the Mets and Marlins in great seats on Tuesday night, June 11th at Citi Field. I want to thank our guest on the show, Wayne Randazzo from Apple TV+. He'll have the call of the Yankees and the Dodgers tonight at Yankee Stadium. For Vinny Tickets, I'm Peter Schwartz, the whole staff. We thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Don't forget, we are sponsored by the Embassy Diner in Bethpage, Falcone Law Firm, the Marty Lyons Foundation, and Collaborate Studios. Have a great weekend, everyone. Enjoy all the sports. Enjoy the Yankees and the Dodgers. Enjoy the Mets.